It began as an experiment. A gamble. A leap into the unknown. Netflix's Building the Band wasn't just another reality competition, it was a vision. A daring attempt to redefine how music groups are formed, how stars are born, and how chemistry on stage is created from raw ambition and hunger. And now, that experiment has found its first definitive result. Its first sound of success. Its first name etched into the legacy. That name is 3Quincy. 3 voices. 3 flames. 1 band. Nori Royale. Wenli Kazada. Brianna Mazzola. From the very beginning, they weren't the loudest. They weren't the flashiest. They weren't the obvious choice. But they were the realest. Each week, as the pressure mounted and the stages got bigger, 3Quincy didn't just survive, they evolved. They listened. They pushed. They learned. They rose. And when the lights hit the stage on episode 10's finale, they didn't just perform. They arrived. With harmonies tight as wire. With choreography as smooth as silk. With emotion that bled through every lyric. They didn't beg for the crown, they claimed it. And the judges, they felt it. Nicole Scherzinger, herself no stranger to the crucible of pop competition, saw it with crystal clarity. They have proven to us that they are ready, she said. A band that has shown so much growth, the band that pulled out all the stops tonight. And indeed, 3Quincy did. They weren't just good. They were electric. They weren't just a girl group. They were a force. And with that, they were declared the winners of Building the Band Season 1. A title. A legacy. A check for $500,000. But more than that, a future. A moment of ignition. The culmination of long nights, cracked voices, creative disagreements, and whispered dreams. They stood there, hand in hand, as tears welled and the crowd roared, not just because they'd won, but because they knew, they had earned every second of that stage. But this wasn't a cakewalk. They had to edge out fierce competition. None fiercer than the remarkable SZN4. A bold, mixed-gender group that stood as a defiant answer to the show's traditional format. Donzell Taggart, Aaliyah Rose, Cameron Good, Katie Roeder. Together, they brought innovation, risk, and a unique energy that had the judges second-guessing at every turn. They weren't expected to last, but they thrived. Week after week, they challenged the norms. They delivered harmonies that transcended convention. They brought conversations about what a band could be. Their loss wasn't failure. It was testament. Testament to how high this show raised the bar. Because Building the Band wasn't just about music. It was about evolution. About formation. About the alchemy of strangers becoming a sound, a story, a single unit. And in the end, it was 3Quincy who told the story best. They entered the show as 3 individuals with separate dreams. But they leave as one. A band with a name. A sound. A bond. This isn't just a win. It's the birth of something bigger. And for the world watching, it's the beginning of a journey we'll want to follow. Because 3Quincy now stands where legends begin. Their first step was on a stage made by Netflix, under lights built for pressure, before judges who knew what it took. And they didn't flinch. They embraced it. They transformed under it. They made the stage their home. They turned pressure into poise. They turned rehearsal into resonance. They turned notes into narrative. Their chemistry. It wasn't scripted. It was discovered. Their voices. Not just in sync, but in spirit. They didn't just build a band. They became one. And now, the question isn't whether they'll succeed, it's how far they'll go. Because every industry insider is watching now. Every producer. Every label. Every fan of pop evolution. This wasn't just a competition, it was a debut. And this debut has teeth. Already, social media pulses with 3Quincy's name. Already, fans are asking for tour dates, EPs, live streams, behind-the-scenes content. Already, playlists are waiting. Already, the industry is buzzing. What's next? Perhaps an album. Perhaps a collaboration. But one thing's certain, momentum is on their side. And as they hold that trophy, as their names are etched in the inaugural season's Hall of Fame, they know this isn't the end. It's the beginning. For Wenli, for Brianna, for Nori, this is where the real work starts. Where the brand is built. Where the voice is sharpened. Where the dream is chased across stages bigger than they've ever seen. And the world will be listening. To 3 young women who stepped into an unknown format, and made it unforgettable. To a band that didn't just win a show, but won a future. To 3Quincy. Built on talent. Forged in pressure. Crowned in harmony. Born to rise.